What's going on, y'all? Advice Wednesdays in the building. Before we get started, y'all know me. I got to shout out my shirt. Hold on, because I'm feeling myself today. Well, yeah. For those of you doing the audio only version, I have on a sweatshirt that says Original Gangster with a split screen picture of Tupac and Biggie. And I cut the top off. I cut the neck because it was a crew neck. So I made it a V-neck because that crew neck be too restricting for me. It'd be making me feel like I can't breathe. You know? That go into them commitment issues I got. But that's another story for another time. All right? Let's jump in. Welcome to the Free Game Alert podcast show, where we believe that the game should be free, but the rules on how to play that motherfucker gonna cost you. I am your host, Bree, the giver of free game. You can catch us on all social medias. We on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Don't forget to stop by the website, www.theblackplainjane.com. No fancy way of spelling it, no caps, no spaces, because we like to keep things plain Jane around this thing. You feel me? All right. Also, links will be in the description. All right? Let's jump in, y'all. Segment number 1, Ask a Black Woman. Oh, before we get into it, if you're watching the video version, it's really light in here because I'm using natural sunlight. And these glasses I got on are my transitional frames. So if they start going dark as I'm recording, fear not. Okay? It's not an illusion. It's not a trick. They're just transitioning because the sun is hitting. Moving on. First segment, Ask a Black Woman. Guess what? I got a question. Somebody submitted a question. I'm so excited. I feel so official, so legit. Moving on. All right. So the question today, submitter asked to remain anonymous, which I can understand. In this day and age, this question will probably have motherfuckers on his page like, what the fuck you mean? So today's question, why are so many black women hopping on this independent, I don't need a man train? Very good question, anonymous sender. Very good question. Let's start here. Let me say, before I jump into this, from my perspective, my opinion, all black women are not created the same. Okay? We're not all the same. We don't all look alike. We don't all think alike. We don't all move alike. So when you hear all these black women screaming, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, that's how they feel. There's no way on God's green earth that you should correlate that to be a statement for all black women. Come on now. Come on. If I say niggas ain't shit, should I include a man? Should I include every black man in that? Come on. Okay? So with that disclaimer out the way, let's go into it. Now, first and foremost, you got to understand the history of the black woman in this country. Okay? Let's start with the most obvious, slavery. Now, I don't have to go into detail of everything that was done to not only black women, but black people as a whole, black men, women, and children during the times of slavery. From the moment they stole us, forced us on these boats, took us across the land, across the water to new land, and forced us to build it. We know how that went down. I ain't got to go into it, but I want y'all to keep that in mind when y'all trying to understand the psyche of why black women are on this, fuck it, I'm going to do what needs to be done. I ain't waiting on nobody. Right? So keep that in mind. So we move from the trauma of slavery right on into the Jim Crow era, segregation. During the Jim Crow segregation era, we were still slaves. By law, we weren't. But what jobs could men get? Men could only be sharecroppers. And then, as a sharecropper, you wasn't necessarily getting paid because you're coming out of slavery with nothing but the fucking rags on your back. In order to be a sharecropper, you need tools. You still got to have a household for your family or for yourself. You still got to eat. How you think all of this shit was fronted to them? Just like if you in the streets selling dope, and you ain't got no money to get started, somebody gonna front you a pack so you can get up, get on. But because they fronted you that pack, the money you making from that first pack is technically not yours. You got to pay back, get in front of it, right? So when slavery, quote unquote, ended and we moved into the segregated Jim Crow era, not only were men not able to find jobs that were bringing in income enough to make them providers in the way that men need to feel to remain confident, to remain men. You know what I'm saying? It's biological for men to want to be providers. It's in their DNA. That's how they built. That's why we need men, and men need women for the nurturing. Women need men for protection and providing. Not need, but that's the dynamic of the human male and female species, right? So during the Jim Crow era, the only people who were bringing in money, not by choice, but by force, were the women. But yet and still again, the only jobs we could get were nannies and maids. We still watching our men being disrespected. We still watching our men having their dignity and their pride stripped. I'm talking about KKK, the police force, because the police force were just overseers. They took away their whips when slavery ended and gave them gold badges, gave them stars, right? So the way that they treated the black men as slaves is still the way they treated them during the Jim Crow era. So you got to remember the way that the respect of the black man was diminished across the race. They had to put the fear of quote unquote God into these people that they just set free, who were never meant to live free and as equals on this land. That was never the plan. But because it happened, now they had to figure out a system to keep y'all in line, to keep us oppressed. So we go from the trauma of slavery to the trauma of the Jim Crow era. All the while, we can't look at our men as men. Our men can't be men. When they be men, they die. They get beat to the point where they're about to die, to the brink of death. They get ostracized at jobs, fired, if they stand up and say, yo, this is a motherfucking $50 an hour job. How you gonna give me $2? Oh, that's a problem. You on the list. You on the hit list for the KKK. They gonna come teach you some manners, boy. In front of your family. That's the only way they did it. In front of the woman, in front of the kids, they gotta know you ain't shit. So we move from the trauma of slavery to the trauma of the Jim Crow era. And then we start to regain some dignity and some respect with the revolution, right? The revolution starts, contrary to most beliefs. A lot of people think that the revolution started in the 60s, but it actually started, I'm going to say the mid 40s, probably the late 30s, early 40s when it really, really started. But I'm going to say the mid 40s because that's what I know. For sure. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about, we've seen Black Wall Street. We've seen all these flourishing, self-sufficient Black communities, not just Black Wall Street, but that's the one most people know about. So I stated that one first. But that was a part of the revolution, the Harlem Renaissance, Black music crossing over, Black music being the basis of all music in this country. That was it. Black women breaking into the entertainment industry, breaking into movies. My point is that was the beginning of the Black Revolution, when we started to create this culture around all the different things that we remembered our ancestors passed down from the old land, from those who had a chance to interact with ancestors who knew. Yeah, they came over here and yeah, they beat out a lot of our culture and a lot of our rituals and a lot of our ancestry, but some of them held on to that shit and secretly passed it through their generations. That created a revolution. Once we were free, once we realized like, oh, Yeah, they separating us, but we can do this shit. Come on, y'all. We built this country. We can build a community. So we go from that revolution into a more political, recognized, propagated revolution, which was the civil rights movement and every little subsidiary movement within the civil rights movement. You know what the fuck I'm saying? Y'all hear me? Hear me. So during the revolution, moving into the 60s, the revolution as we know it, you know, the Panther Party, the beginning of community groups. I don't want to call them gangs because they wasn't gangs yet, like the Disciples. That was a subsidiary of the Panther Party, for those of you who don't know. The GD started off as a community group. They wanted to be like what the Panthers were to New York. That's really how it started. That's why all of these gangs got laws they supposed to follow. It was never supposed to be about fighting each other. It was never supposed to be about terrorizing the community. It was supposed to be about uplifting, protecting the community, giving the community what the government wouldn't. That's what it was supposed to be. And that's what it started out as. And all of that started during the revolution that I'm speaking on. But my point is, that affected the way Black women looked at the Black man as well. Although we started to regain the respect and dignity that was stripped from them, they started to gain it within themselves and move with more dignity and respect and hold their head a little higher. And we started to respect them as men because they were able to move like men. But then, here come them getting jailed. They put so many Black men in jail because of the revolution. They marked them as terrorists. Tried to put them under the jail. Took them away from their families in crucial times. When the babies are babies. When the mothers need to be home and the fathers need to provide, they were stripped away. So what did the mothers have to do? They had to fucking gain independence or falter. It was survival of the fittest from the moment we stepped on this fucking land. So it pisses me off that as a Black man, you can't understand the trauma behind the statement, I don't need a man. You know goddamn well it ain't about us not needing no man. You know it's not about a man. It's about the pain and trauma linked to feeling comfortable enough to put trust in a union. We've seen from the moment that they drug us over here what happens when Blacks come together in union. They use every ounce of their being, every ounce of their power to draw a wedge between that, to stop it, to break it, to strip it away. So a lot of Black women don't even understand the root of the reason they feel that way. But I'm here to tell y'all, men and women alike, it's deeper than some relationship fuck shit you been through that's got you like, fuck these niggas. You have to understand the Black man's psyche from the beginning of the trauma. The same way Black men have to understand the Black woman's psyche from the beginning of the trauma. We all saw the same trauma. We just experienced it different. It was physical for the men, but it was mental for us. Either way, it got stored in your DNA. So I want y'all to look up generational trauma. I want y'all to look up pathology. Pathology is the study of the blood. I want y'all to understand how energy, because it is you are energy, it intertwines with your DNA. So when you having babies and passing along your DNA, any trauma and pain intertwined with your DNA is now in your children. So imagine the trauma and pain that was experienced from the moment we was drugged to this country being passed through the generations. Genetically. This ain't no fucking theory. This is scientific fact. Fact. After the revolution, what come next, y'all? Y'all know what came after they dismantled the Panthers? Right? What was it? The crack era. What did that do to our men? The ones who didn't get hooked on it was selling it. And then when the war on drugs came, they got locked up. I'm talking 15 to life. So we got 60% either junkies or locked up during the crack era. And that's on top of the 15% they locked up the previous 10 years during the revolution for being revolutionaries. And then between the revolution and the crack era, you had the war. You had the draft. Why do you think they made the draft mandatory? It sure the fuck wasn't for Dan. It sure the fuck wasn't for Billy. Subsequently, some of them had to go too, yeah. But it was really about depopulating us. Go look at the numbers. Don't take my word for it. Go look at the numbers on how many men were drafted out of certain communities. So, we go from the revolution to the draft to the crack era. After the crack era, while the crack era was perpetuating itself and growing and locking up more men, all these women with their babies, all these black women with their babies were left to fend for themselves. If they didn't get hooked on the shit too, then they was left to fend for themselves. So we got two groups of women here. We got the women who got hooked on the crack, and then we got the women who were not hooked on crack, but the crack era affected them because their men are now gone. Their men are either addicted or in jail. In penitentiaries. It's a difference between jail, prison. Okay? Prison is penitentiary. There's a difference between jail and the penitentiary. Jail is short term. The pen, that's that 25 to life I'm talking about. You hear me? 15. It might be 15 now, but 10 years or more landed you in a pen. Less than 10 years, you're just in jail. So for those women who were not hooked on crack and were left to fend for themselves, we had the introduction of welfare. Now, you know where welfare led a motherfucker, because even during the crack era, even though we had came a long way from being maids and nannies as the only jobs we can get, we still were underpaid, severely underpaid in comparison to our counterparts of other races, no matter what job we got. And then we were coming from the revolutionary period, the war, the draft, had lost so much, had suffered so much within our communities, as they labeling our men terrorists and terrorizing our community, trying to find these quote unquote terrorists, that we exhausted. We exhausted to the point we don't even realize we being underpaid. We being underpaid so much that we can't even keep up with our bills. And then here comes the white savior with the welfare system. Oh, it's to help you. Yeah, we want you to be good. We want your kids to be good. We want you to survive without your counterparts. We want you to survive without a man in the house. So here, let us help you. Let the government assist you. But as long as you get assistance from the government, their father can't be around. Their fathers can't be in the home. You can only make this much. So when you actually look at the history of black people in this country, when you look at the history of what black women have suffered, endured, survived, how can you not understand this independent streak? It was fight or flight. It was survival of the fittest. It still the fuck is. I mean, now we better off. Since the 2000s, yeah. Black men on the rise, they on the come up. They finding their dignity. We getting paid more. I mean, there's still a wage gap between blacks and every other race. That's a motherfucking fact. Look it up. But we're able to make more, especially now since the emergence of the internet and social networking and online shopping. And if you still getting underpaid, you a motherfucking fool. Find you a way to make some money for self. But I digress. So after all of that trauma, we as black women had to acclimate ourselves and get accustomed to being independent. Had it not been for our ability to find and stand on and in our independence, where would we be now? Where would our kids be? Where would you be as a man? Because the women I'm talking about who went through this were your mother, your mother's mother, your mother's mother's mother. So had they not found that independence and stood in it, had they not been as resilient as they were, as innovative as they were, as strong as we are, you wouldn't even fucking be here to be an option for a black woman. So the next time you want to sit there and fix your mouth to say anything correlating to why a black woman feel like or saying or needs to be independent or needs to feel like she don't have to have a man around, take a look back at our history, which is your history. Stop letting these fucking colonizers put that bullshit in your head. Stop letting them make you think that we stating what we stating, we feeling what we feeling because you're not good enough. You smarter than that, black man. Come on. All this knowledge being uncovered, all this truth coming to light, and you mean to tell me you still don't get it? In 2020, you still don't understand? And I don't mean to say it like I'm criticizing your question. It's an amazing question, and I'm glad you brought it up. But it's so frustrating. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. And listen, it's frustrating for me being the caliber of woman I am. Black, white, or anything in between. But the caliber of black woman I am, it frustrates me. Because I understand on a deeper level. I know not every black woman is like me. I know it's not going to be too many black women who can break it down in that manner or who even think about it in that manner when they say that goofy ass shit. And I'm going to get on the black women too because it's a better way to get that point across than to run around here saying, fuck these niggas. I don't need a man for shit. It's a better way. Because you're right, baby. In all actuality, you don't need a man. No. Need? Hell no. The only thing you need is fresh water and produce. That's all you need to survive in the physical. But when we talking about living, really living, yeah, you need a man. Come on. Life ain't worth living if you got to do it solo. And I'm speaking from somebody who spent the past 32 years lonely as fuck, walking around talking about I don't need nobody. And I wasn't just saying I don't need a man. I was saying I don't need nobody. Because I was so used to being abandoned. You understand? And that's another point I want to make. A lot of black women, it's a defense mechanism. A lot of us get on that I don't need a man bullshit because we scared. We seen our daddies leave. Some of them voluntarily, some of them involuntarily. Jail, drugs, get killed. Some of them just leave. A lot of us have been abandoned, men and women. So we all got them issues. A lot of black women have never seen a fruitful black relationship. marriage. A lot of us ain't never seen that shit. So we can't fathom it. All we've seen is mama do it. Just mama. Getting fucked over by plenty men, including the one who helped birth you. So with that trauma, yeah, motherfucker gonna feel like I don't need this shit. Why the fuck I'm gonna invite that in my life after I just survived it? I'm not saying it's right. All I'm saying is A, stop correlating some opinions as a collective. Not all of us feel that way. Not all of us running through the streets like INDEPENDENT, fuck a nigga, That ain't all of our mentality. That's the mentality of a grown-ass girl who hasn't processed her trauma, who hasn't processed her pain, who hasn't moved past it, who hasn't healed. So, to answer your question, it's deeper than the reasons that we think as women. So when you ask some women, they'll tell you shit like, oh, well, I'd rather be single than to deal with a cheating ass, lying ass, no good, not shit nigga. Or, I'd rather be single because I'm all about this shmoney. Fuck a nigga, money make me come. Remember that, Rick Ross? A lot of them say that these are the reasons why they feel that way. But that's because, as I stated, they still a little immature in their spiritual being. They haven't figured out the root of why they really feel like that. They don't understand the generational trauma they carrying in their DNA. They don't understand the past pain they've suppressed from watching their mothers. They single black mothers do it for self with no choice. Dog ass motherfucking tired. Getting it in. Working and raising kids. But on top of that, so for example, myself, somebody who understands what can bring a black woman to that thought, right? So on top of that, you have to realize the underdevelopment of the black man in this country. Not all. I'm never speaking about everybody when I'm talking about this shit. I'm talking about those people it applies to, and you know them when you see them. So you have to understand the underdevelopment of some black men in this country. Let me start saying that. You right. Spirit be talking to me. They said, say some. Say some. Don't be doing that. All right. Some. So a lot of some black men don't have the confidence within themselves to be the God kings that they are. And if you're not exuding that godliness in you, that king in you, then you're not a man yet. You're still a boy. No matter what your age is, no matter how big your dick is, you're still a boy until you're fully complete within yourself. Right? And because of that, if you don't understand how to lead as a man, if you don't understand how to get it and provide as a man, see, that's a lot of the chaos. That's a lot of the discourse. That's a lot of the problem. Motherfuckers got y'all thinking providing is tricking. How, Sway? How you gonna be the man of a household? How you gonna be the king of your castle when you ain't willing to do what you gotta do to maintain it? Because some goofy ass nigga on the record said it was tricking, yet he paying for pussy every night? Yeah, nigga. Fucking a stripper is paying for pussy because ain't no stripper fucking for free. Period. I don't gotta be a stripper to understand how that shit work. Ain't no strip bitch fucking you for free, nigga. I don't care how famous you are. And if you think you fucking her for free, she exposing your goofy ass and you gonna end up paying her out anyway. Hush money. Tell me I'm lying. So my point is, on top of the trauma that deep down subconsciously pushes us to want to move in independence and not rely on a unionship, a lot of men, black, white, or anything in between, are underdeveloped. And when it comes to the black man, because of the trauma you faced, because of everything you've had to endure and survive, you haven't had the chance to learn how to live. Black women too, we steady stuck in survival mode. But I say that about black men more because black women are elevating in this country. Okay? We elevating and we gaining more respect, and we the highest group of educated people. We the highest group starting businesses. Y'all catching up, but we just got there first. And because it's so many black women who regrouped first, who found they self again first, who found their respect and dignity in their place in this world where they not supposed to fit in, because we got there first, it feel like it's not no men on our level. So it's like, damn, I don't want to bring my ascension down a notch just to have a man. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can't relate, if we can't sit down and have a conversation, if I can't take you around my world outside of us, outside of black people, outside of the hood, outside of the community, if you can't mingle and interact outside of that with me, then I have to move independent in a lot of things when it comes to career-wise. And for a lot of black women, we have to lean on our career because we can't lean on a man. Not that it's no good man to lean on, but it's that trauma. It's that fear. Like, goddamn, soon as I find a unionship, some way, somehow, this world, this country is going to tear it apart. Who wants to go through heartbreak if you ain't got to? So a lot of us, instead of facing that fear, we running from it. We dating down. We dating men who ain't on our level, who ain't on our caliber, who shouldn't even be able to fucking sniff our wind when we walk past, let alone lay up in our bed. And because we watering down our shit, because we dating down in fear of actually finding somebody on the level, we running into all of this discourse, all these fuck relationships that's putting more trauma on top of the generational trauma that we already got in us. The blind leading the blind. Men, grown boys, dressed up in men's suits, trying to lead a woman who got the directions. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from experience. I'm fucking totally guilty of this. I'm a natural born leader because I raised myself. I raised myself and I raised my 3 younger siblings from the time I was 11. And I'll probably be doing it until the day I fucking die. Granted, everybody grown, so I'm not raising them. But who you think they run into when they need some advice? When they got questions? When they can't get a fucking loan at the bank? I mean, right now I'm down and out, so I ain't able to do that, but I'm that person. See, y'all don't want to look at that though. It's easier to say, oh, these bitches tripping. Everybody talking about they independent. These bitches don't want no nigga fucking. I'm gonna go fuck with Consuelo. I'm gonna go fuck with a Becky because they seem to understand what it's like to need a man. They seem to understand how to respect a man. Y'all ain't even trying to see it from where the fuck we coming from. I'm a natural born leader because I was thrown into that shit. I didn't have no choice. 11 years old, my mama depressed, locked in her room, working 2 jobs. Her and my daddy divorced. He used to beat her ass, so she just all fucked up. But if I don't cook, how we gonna eat? If I don't check their homework, how it's gonna get done? If I don't get them ready for bed, how they gonna get settled? If I don't wake them up, who gonna get them to school? I've been fucking driving since I was 14 on the freeway, taking my siblings back and forth to school. We all go to school on the south side. My mama carpooling to work, leaving me her car, like, you'll be fine. So when you come at me with the fuck shit, if you ask me why I'm screaming I'm independent and I don't need a nigga, it's because I fucking don't. Need? No. Want? Yeah. Yes, I want a man. But I'm not settling for shit less than something that's my level or higher. Somebody who understands on the level that I am on. Somebody who has found their dignity, found their respect. All I'm saying, y'all. All I'm saying. You gotta understand the backstory before you go judging how a motherfucker feel. Before you go judging the conclusions they had to come to survive. I don't even want to go into how much I lost behind boys with men costumes on. All that drama, all that pain, all them losses will lead any woman, black, white, or anything in fucking between, to lead any woman to say, fuck a nigga, I don't need this shit. I could do bad by my motherfucking self. Why would I add another person? Why would I add some dead weight onto my already heavy motherfucking load? It don't make sense. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, baby. That's all I'm saying. So to answer your question in short, A, not all black women are on this train, this independent, I don't need a man train. B, a lot of women feel that way because of past traumas stemming deeper than they even understand. C, some women are underdeveloped and immature, not only in the mind, but in the spirit. So yeah, they really feel like they don't need a nigga for shit. But at the end of the day, understand that there's levels to this shit. Understand that what one thing don't represent us all. Okay? All right. Moving on. Segment 2. How to ... So in today's how to segment, we're going to look at how to agree to disagree. Okay? Let's start here. I want to discuss this topic because I want to look at ways that we can shift our mindset. That we can shift our mindset to expand our consciousness, which in turn will accelerate our spiritual journey. Right? That's why I don't be wearing lipstick like that. Y'all see that? I just wipe my upper lip and wipe some lipstick off and shit. Moving on. So, how to agree to disagree. First and foremost, you can only agree to disagree if you have respect. Respect for others, respect for yourself, respect for the shit that you don't agree with. Like I always say, you don't have to like it, you don't have to understand it, but goddamn it, respect it. Okay? Agreeing to disagree is one of the main ways to show respect. It's one of the main ways to learn respect. Okay? Because if you can agree to disagree with somebody on something they feel so strongly about, it's like saying, you know what? I think what you're saying is some total, utter fucking bullshit. But I respect you as a person. And because I respect you, I'm going to respect what the fuck you believe. That's your prerogative. You do what you want to do. It's my prerogative. Hey. You see what I'm saying? So that's the ultimate form of respect. To agree to disagree. It's disrespectful as fuck to tell somebody everything you stand for is some bullshit. Keep in mind that it's okay to debate. There's a difference between debating and arguing. Okay? So to debate is to let one person speak and get their point across, and then the other person speaks and get their point across. To argue is when both people are speaking their points at the same time, trying to overtalk each other. Right? So debate is good. It's actually fucking healthy. It's really healthy if you're doing it right. If you're using respect while debating. But at some point, the debate has to end. Once the debate ends and all sides were heard, all points were made, now what? You got two options. You can either A, try to convert them to your beliefs, even though perception is reality. And no matter how hard you try to convince them that your way is better than theirs, they can only perceive what they know. They can only believe what they can comprehend. They can only comprehend what they can understand. You understand what I'm saying? So it don't matter how many facts you present. It don't matter how good you make it sound. It don't matter how correct you are in your point of view. If they can't perceive it that way, it won't be their reality. So why are you trying to waste your energy converting motherfuckers to believe what you believe? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of breath. And it's a fucking waste of your energy. You're not here to convert. That's not your job. Your job as a spiritual being is to simply lay out the facts. To simply give new perspectives, new points of view. And then it's up to the other person to decide whether or not they'll accept or reject. One of my favorite sayings, and I don't know how it came to me, I don't even know if I heard it from somewhere or it just formulated in my mind, is I'm going to always give my 2 cents on any situation I feel compelled to speak on. So I'm going to give my 2 cents, but it's up to you to either throw it on the floor or put it in your pocket. And that's how I feel about the conversion thing. That's why you don't see me on here like, it's gotta be this way. You're wrong. This is right. Because who the fuck am I to tell you what you believe ain't what it is for you? This is what it looked like for me. This is how I perceive it in my reality, but that don't mean you gonna feel the same way, and I'm not expecting nobody to. I'm simply here to present a new point of view, to present my perspective. I like to hear other people's perspectives. That's why it's easy for me to agree to disagree. That's why it's easy for me to respect any and all things. Because I like to know how you see it. I want to know every fucking angle of every situation. That's the analyst in me. Sagittarius. That's my sign. The archer. If you into zodiac, then you know what the fuck I mean. The analyzers. Philosophers. That's what I do. You can't be a philosopher. You can't be analytical if you don't hear all sides. If you don't review and study all sides. Right? We are products of our environment. Period. So a lot of people's beliefs, morals, theories, philosophies, ideals are formulated in the subconscious based on the environment in which they grew up, the environment in which they're comfortable in. And because I understand that, that's why I choose to respect others' beliefs enough to hear them out and then agree to disagree if I don't fuck with it. because I need to know your perspective. I know what your environment look like. I know what environment you come from. So now that I know your environment, I need to know the perspective that was induced by your environment, right? And because we are products of our environment, and like I said, the mind can only comprehend what it understands. But we got to understand the difference between learning something and understanding something. You see? So to learn something is simply to know it. To understand something is to know it while implementing it into your daily life, into your being. Most people don't take the time to understand shit. They learn it, but they don't understand it. And because they don't understand it, they can't move forward in their beliefs. They can't expand on their beliefs, their morals, their philosophies, their concepts. Because their mind is closed. They didn't try to understand what they learned. So they just know it. It's stored in their brain. But it's not actively helping them in life. It's not actively helping them revamp their lifestyle. It's not actively helping them ascend in their journey. You feel me? So that's option 1. Option 2. So you can either try to convert them as option 1, or we can move to option 2, which is agreeing to disagree. Now, when you agree to disagree, it's basically, yo, I don't really agree with what you're saying, but I feel you. I see how it makes sense for you. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. I can dig it. Because at the end of the day, you can't live for nobody else. You can't answer for nobody but you. So if you disagree, what good do it do you to make that known? What do it matter? If you don't agree with what they believe in, what does it do to tell them other than cause arguments, cause discourse, cause tension where it ain't necessary? Whereas if you would have kept your respect for this person, regardless of what they believe, if you would have kept your respect for them as a creature of the Most High, then you will understand that not agreeing doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect them. So why not just agree to disagree and respect it? Mutual respect helps to maintain your inner peace. Mutual respect helps maintain your inner peace in a way of you are going to eliminate animosity. You're going to eliminate, what's the word I'm looking for? Confrontation that's not necessary. Why would you want to introduce all that negative energy, all that animosity, all that that hostility into your being if you don't have to? What somebody else believes don't and won't affect your spiritual ascension. You have to move for you. You have to move for the betterment of your journey. It's cool to help people along the way. It's cool to spread knowledge and to share your testimony and to share little tips and tricks that got you through. But ain't nothing conducive, ain't nothing productive about you sitting back arguing with a motherfucker about some shit that don't affect your life. Like I keep saying, true consciousness is to study and understand all beliefs, concepts, philosophies, theories, morals, everything. Anything you can get your hands on, anything that sparks some type of interest in your soul, you should be delving into for true consciousness. And in order to truly ascend in your spiritual journey, to truly become a spiritual being, You have to have a strong consciousness. Period. You have to be able to move with everything you know consciously. It can't be no, I ain't know that. Shit, I ain't know being spiritual meant that I had to fix myself. I ain't know that. Open your fucking consciousness then, nigga. Go learn some shit. Go read some shit. Study up on some shit. On top of that, you gotta understand that agreeing to disagree ain't for them. You ain't doing it for them. You doing it for yourself. The ability to agree, to disagree, and respect all beliefs, concepts, and theories keeps your mind open. You can't grow with a closed mind. A closed mind produces stagnation. And if you stagnant in all areas, mind, body, soul. So if you stagnant in your mind, you can't be nothing but stagnant in your spirit. If you're stagnant in your spirit, you can't ascend. To be stagnant is to stop. To be stagnant is to rest on what you know, not grow, not learn more, not expand on what you already understand. That's stagnation. It's too much out here to learn. It's too much we need to know to close our minds to some shit that don't feel right off top. You understand what I'm saying? If the Most High gave different regions different stories based on their environment, right? That's why so many religions. Because Most High had to give this one message to all of these different people who come from different upbringings, different environments, different ways of life. But even though we got 50 million fucking religions with 50 million different stories and details, the overall conclusion of religion, the overall message of religion is the same. Most High is the end all be all. God, Allah, Most High, Buddha, the divine, the universe, whatever you call it, supreme being, whatever. All religions point to one message. Live your life in spirit. Ascend as a spiritual being before you leave this realm. So at the end of the day, it's fucking counterproductive to walk around here like, fuck that, you wrong, I'm right. Who's to say they wrong? Y'all know how I feel about right and wrong. You can't tell somebody they wrong. That's like a Christian telling a Muslim you're wrong for being Muslim, but at the end of the day, y'all both worshiping the same supreme being. It just got different names. It got different stories that lead to the same fucking conclusion. Stop playing. The Most High gives everybody messages in different forms. I can't give you a message and have you comprehend and understand it in the same way I would relate a message to a white woman. I have to give the message different, even though I'm trying to get y'all to see the same principle, right? It's the same thing. That's all I'm trying to say. The same message is going to come in different ways. And it has to be like that. It has to be presented to certain people in a certain way in order for them to not just learn, which means to know, but to understand, which is to implement what you know into your daily being. Stay with me, y'all. Stay the fuck with me. Think about it. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. It's free to give respect. Even if you don't get it back, It's free to give respect. Ain't no loss behind it. You can't lose your self-respect by respecting other things. You can only add to it. That goes to the law of attraction. See, a lot of the shit I'm going to talk about is also tapping into how to use the law of attraction. You want respect, you thrive off respect, you move for and in and with respect, you're going to attract it. You walk around here talking about, nah, fuck that, you wrong, you right, that's what you're going to attract. Discourse, hostility, mayhem, arguments, disrespect. But if you respect everybody else and everything else, you can't attract nothing but that back. And don't get me wrong, I ain't saying walk around here and turn the other cheek and let a motherfucker disrespect you. No, stand on your shit. What I'm saying is when it comes to other people's beliefs, other people's theories, philosophies, ideologies, respect it. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. And essentially, it ain't gonna do nothing but help you move to the next level in your journey. All right? Moving on. Our last segment of the day, what it look like. So y'all know how I do. I like to keep in spirit of how-to segment and just expand on it a little more with what it look like. So let's talk about it. So today, what it look like to respect what you don't agree with. All right? Let us jump in. All right. So let's explore what it'll look like once you got agreeing to disagree down pat. Okay? Which essentially is respecting what you don't agree with. Right? All right. So I'm going to break it down in 3 different steps. Well, not steps, but 3 different sections. Okay? So first signs of what it'll look like to respect what you don't agree with. You will listen wholeheartedly to other people's perspectives. You gonna listen to what they got to say. Truly listen, not just hear. Y'all remember the difference between hearing and listening? Hearing is just you heard it. It's in one ear, out the other one. Example of hearing is, oh shit, you ain't hear that? I just heard a sound. You don't know what it is, but you heard it. To listen is to take in what's being said, to internalize it, to actually think about it. When people say, is you listening to me? And you be like, yeah, I'm listening. And they say, well, what I say? If you can repeat it back, you was listening. If you can't repeat back what they told you, you just heard them. You wasn't fucking listening. All right? Now, the first step in what it looks like to respect things you don't agree with is to fully listen to the points that they making in reference to their ideas, beliefs, concepts, ideologies, etc. So what do it mean to really listen? To really listen to what they saying is to listen without thinking of a rebuttal. See, a lot of the times when we hear something we don't agree with, we close our mind. We close our mind to listening to what the fuck they actually saying and start trying to think of a response. Start trying to think of ways we could tell them they wrong and why. I'm guilty of it. This is how I know. Took me years to break that shit. Because I used to tell myself all the time, like, oh, you got a short memory. So I used to cut people off, like, and not really be listening. I would hear something that's like, no, that's not right. Let me correct them. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who know me know that. But lately, I've been listening. Closing my fucking mouth. Listening. Really listening. And I've been learning so much. So you listen without thinking of a response. And you listen without thinking of ways to prove them wrong. Okay? And I do the air quotes with wrong and right, bad and good, heaven and hell, because those are concepts my soul don't recognize those. My soul like, that's some man-made shit. Ain't no such thing as right and wrong when I give y'all free will. That's what Most High saying. Ain't no such thing as good and bad when I give y'all free will. I give you free will so you can experience life on this plane. I give you free will so you can experience what the soul already knows in the physical. You know deep down what's quote unquote right and wrong, quote unquote good and bad, because you feel some type of way when you're doing some fuck shit you ain't got no business doing. When you're not listening to your soul tell you, no, 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 no. That's not what that's meant for. Anytime you feeling that guilt or that like, oh, something don't feel right, but I'm gonna do this shit anyway. It feels so wrong, but it feels so right. That's most high in your spirit, your guides, whatever you want to call it. That's the God in you. That's your soul telling you stop with the fuck shit. Can't no human tell you that. And that's why I don't believe in telling people they right or wrong, good or bad. Can't no human decipher that for nobody else. You can only decipher that for yourself, because every individual has to live for self. So who the fuck are one to tell the other how it's supposed to be? When Most High giving y'all your own messages as it pertains to your journey. Live for self, y'all. Move for self. Not in no selfish way, but in a way to grow. You can't think for nobody else. You can't live for nobody else. When you leave this body, I don't know what the afterlife gonna be like. I don't know what it's like once your energy leave this body. Hell, it may be a fucking heaven. It may be a hell. But that's not what my spirit tells me, so I don't move like that. I don't move trying to gain points to get into heaven, trying to do things to escape a hell. I don't move like that. I move for what feels good in my soul. I move for what feels right in my soul, quote unquote. So that was the first step. Second step. You will truly take in and internalize what's being spoke to you, whether you agree with it or not, because you were actually listening without thinking of a rebuttal or thinking of a way to prove a motherfucker incorrect. You internalized. Keep that in there. Keep that stored in your brain. Keep that stored in your being. Because later on, when you walk away from this situation, because you internalized it, you're going to sit down in your meditation or your solitude or however you think, and you're going to replay it. And as you replay it, your soul, Most High, your ancestors, your spirit guides, whatever you refer to it as, is going to tell you what's true and what's not. And then you're going to expand on something that you once thought was incorrect. Now you're going to see the correct aspects of it. Example, Genesis in the Bible, when they speak on Adam and Eve, do I believe Adam and Eve were literally the first people? Hell no. I believe Adam and Eve were the first white people, but the first people ever created? No, that doesn't make sense. The shit don't line up, but there's some truth to it. Genesis speaks about the beginning of mankind. We are not mankind. We're not made of man. We are made of God as melanated people. Non-melanated people are made of man. Why do I say that? White people are closer to dogs than they are to actual humans. Translucent skin, fur. They don't have hair. They got 6 ether strands. That's fur, just like a dog. That's why it's stringy. That's why it's all soft and petable. You know what I'm saying? That's why I grow at different rates. That's why it has to be washed daily. That's why it can not only harbor lice eggs, but lice can live in their scalp if they don't get rid of it. Like literally live, burrow in, go into their brain, go into their skin. You understand what I'm saying? That shit happens to animals. That don't happen to us. So the truth and what I didn't agree with as far as Genesis goes is yes, Adam and Eve were the first of mankind. Yeah, that's a fact. Just not the way they putting it out there like the first of all human creations. No. Non-melanated folks are mankind. Melanated people are humans. We have hues, different hues of color. You understand? So yeah, you gonna internalize what they say, so when you get home, you can find the truth in the shit you didn't agree with. That's gonna expand on your consciousness. See, for a long time I ran from the Bible because I'm like, this is some bullshit. My soul was telling me this is some bullshit. But I was closing my mind instead of doing what my soul was requesting, which was find the truth in these stories I presented to a different region. So once you go home, sit in your solitude, internalize it, you're going to realize like, oh shit. Even though I didn't agree with what the fuck you was talking about, hold the fuck on. This true. That's some bullshit, but this true. And it's going to open your eyes to a whole new perspective on that situation, that topic, that idea, that concept, whatever the fuck it is y'all was agreeing to disagree on. I'm telling you. That's how you expand your consciousness with other beliefs. It's not just about reading shit and watching movies, you know what I'm saying, and studying up, because as you read and you study, you are interpreting what you read based on your perception, based on how you see it. But if you get somebody else's perspective, it's going to show you another angle on what you already knew. You feel me? Prime example, my nails. I used to be on some Lauryn Hill shit like all my life. Like, yo, fake nails by Europeans, come again. Nah, I'm straight. I don't need that shit. That's for fake bitches. That's some fake ass shit. I'm a soul sister. I'm a woman of the people. I want to represent that. Fuck, I need my nails done for. But I was looking at it closed-minded. I haven't had my nails done since high school. I'm 32. I literally just started getting my nails done in November. I went to Atlanta and I was like, fuck it, I'm on vacation. Let me pamper myself. Got my nails and my feet done. It made me feel so feminine. Anybody who know me know I'm not no feminine type of bitch. It's not that I try to be masculine. I got more masculine energy than I do feminine energy, and that stems from my childhood having to be so strong for so many people. That'll bring the masculine out of a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It'll bring the independence. It'll bring the leader. It'll bring that alpha shit out of you, because you ain't got no choice. It's sink or swim. So I never really been into the girly shit, makeup, nails. And it's not that I'm criticizing or shunning nobody who into it. I'm just saying that's just an example of how I closed my mind to a concept without fully exploring it. So now, when I get my nails done, I'm still not getting no fake nails like Europeans. They not fake. They mine. But I need a protective overlay because my nails are so fucking weak and brittle. That's why they short now. I broke 4 of them hoes. Y'all seen that shit? And I got a little slight OCD. So I didn't want to just have those fake, and short in real life, and the other ones all long and shit. So me and my nail tech, shout out to the homie Bree, Nails by Bree. She on Facebook and IG. We discussed it and we both agreed, let's just start over. So I'm starting over. But my point is, I never agreed with the concept of getting them fake ass nails. I always feel like you should remain natural and just enhance what's already naturally yours. So after I opened my mind to the concept of the nails, I was like, I ain't got to get fake nails. I can just get an overlay. I can get a protective layer so my real nails can stop breaking and I can still feel feminine. And ever since then, I've been keeping up with them. I love getting my nails done now. It makes me feel feminine. It brings a lot of my femininity out. Some days y'all will see me on here with nothing, just bare face. Some days y'all will see me like this. Like I said, I dress for how I feel. I do my makeup or whatever for my personality on how I feel when I wake up. So a lot of people will be like, oh, that's some fake shit. She talking about she got plenty personalities and all. Everybody got numerous personalities, numerous aspects to their personality. Not personalities, but numerous aspects to their personality. Some days my personality is feminine. Some days it's more masculine, bitch. Deal with it. Back to the point at hand. I just wanted to give y'all an example of what it looks like to open your mind to a concept that you close. And once you open your mind to a concept that you shun, you can find something in it that's for you. You can find something in it that you can take away. Okay? So now we'll go to the last step. Sometimes it's going to be a debate. Sometimes when you're trying to agree to disagree, when you're trying to respect the shit you don't agree, a debate will arise. Because you're going to be like, I don't really agree, but if you like it, I love it. And they going to be like, no, but this is what. They're going to try to convert you. Not everybody is on your level of ascension. Not everybody is on your level within your journey. Not everybody even on a fucking spiritual journey. So you got to be prepared for that. And as I stated, debate is cool. It's healthy. It's encouraged. As long as you keep an open mind and respect while you're doing it. Now, remember, I'm giving this game to you, to the person who wanted to catch it. I'm speaking on you. We can't control what they do. We can't control whether or not they respect you or your beliefs. All we can control is how we move. How we treat them, the respect we give. All we can control is what we take in, what we know, what we are willing to agree to disagree with. That's all we can do. So when I say debate is cool, as long as you maintain respect and as long as you listen without trying to rebuttal, I'm speaking on you. A debate not always going to be respectful on both sides, but we can't control that. Stay in your shit. Stay in your spirit. Stand on your shit. Stand in your spirit. Don't worry about what they doing. Maintain you. Again, I ain't saying let a motherfucker disrespect you. But if they're disrespectful towards a belief, that's not disrespecting you. They just don't respect themselves enough to respect others. You can't do nothing about that, but don't throw it all away on some fuck ass motherfucker who don't even understand themselves. Okay? So during the debate, really take in all their points. Like I said, internalize it. Because you're going to take it with you and pick through it and find what's right for you. But by listening to the Most High in your spirits. You're going to always catch a jewel. It's always truth and lies. Right? So internalize everything. And take it with you. You don't have to find what fits you in the moment that you in it. But have enough respect for that concept, idea, belief. Have enough respect for the message that Most High gave this person to fully listen and take it in. It's a reason you came across this person. It's a reason they're trying to tell you what they're telling you. It's not them. It's the Most High. Trying to talk to you through other people. Trying to teach you how to take it all in. But then sift through it and find what's right. Find what's real. Find what's true. As spiritual beings, we have to realize that we will never know all there is to know. You just won't. The people who end up learning and understanding all there is to know aren't people. They can't be. They prophets. They saviors. They gods. They saints. You understand? If you get to a point where you know damn near everything there is to know, you die. Once your soul completes its mission in this realm, you leave. And that's why, and you know what? probably, yeah, Friday, we're going to go into death. We're going to talk about death, and I want to give y'all a different perspective on death to help y'all process and understand it better. For example, Nipsey. When Nipsey died and his mother made that speech, and everybody was like, oh, she must have had something to do with it. She ain't even cried. No, ain't got nothing to do with that fuck shit. Nipsey's mother was ascended spiritually on a level that most of us will never understand. She understands death. She understands that he didn't die. He ascended. Nipsey went to his next level because in this realm, his soul accomplished all it needed to accomplish. He started as a fucking gangbanger, killing his own, serving poison to his people, destroying his community. Realized he was wrong. Started making changes within himself first. Then extended that change to the community. He gave the formula, he gave the blueprint on how these gangs can go from destroying the community to what they were supposed to be, restructuring the community. That was his sole purpose in this realm. It was time for him to ascend to the next level. Okay? I got off topic though. I was saying that to say you'll never know all there is to know. And you might not want to rush trying to learn everything you feel like you need to learn. Because once your soul completes this process, once your soul completes this mission, you leave this plane. You go to the next level. So if you're not ready to go to the next level and leave this plane, slow down, homie. Slow down. Look at every aspect of everything you learn. Now, not to say you can stop your time, because when it's your time, period. But I'm saying, don't be in such a rush to get to such a high level, because once you get to the tip top, ain't nowhere else to go. We realize that all experiences contain lessons. Whether the experience is negative or positive, there is a lesson in it, period. So when we think about learning lessons, a lot of the times we correlate learning lessons with fuck shit, with drama, with trauma, with bad, negative, you know what I'm saying? But you can learn lessons in positive and joy and happiness too. I do, all the time. Sometimes I wake up happy as a bitch for no reason. Happy from my heart. It's a lesson in that. Be grateful for the little things in life. That was my lesson. Y'all know where I'm at in life right now as far as worldly shit, meaning house, car, job, worldly shit. Y'all know where I'm at. I ain't never made that no secret. I don't ever pretend to be more than what the fuck I am. I'm not that type of person. I want y'all to see this ascension from the ground floor. I want y'all to see me come from nothing, living in a fucking room, sacrificing my house to get more, following what Most High is telling me to do blindly, blind faith. I want y'all to see how blind faith, law of attraction, and manifestation finna work in my motherfucking life. That's why I keeps it funky, 100% A1 grade A real, and I'm gonna continue to do that shit. Ain't nobody ever gonna be able to come up and say, oh, here's a secret about Bree. Nah, bitch, because I'm gonna tell it all. I want to tell my story before somebody else get a chance to tell it for me. And I encourage y'all to do the same. Ain't no shame in growing. Period. I did some shameful shit, but I'm not ashamed of it. Because I didn't know no better. I know better now. So now if I do it, then yeah, I should be fucking ashamed. Because I know better. But the shit I did in my past, ain't no shame in that for me. I was growing. I had to learn through experience. So yeah, there's a lesson in everything. I say all that to say, whether it's positive or negative, there is a lesson in every experience that you go through in this realm. Okay. So with your open mind, take it all in. All in. And I mean an open mind, y'all. For real. Even if they say the sky is purple. Take that shit in, take it home, and then sift through it. Then shake that through the sifter like, that's bullshit. Sky isn't purple, motherfucker. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? All right, just a little recap before we go into conclusion. Like I said, with how to, we don't do this for other people. We don't respect the shit we disagree with to not cause waves or to not be in confrontation with another motherfucker. No, 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 no. No, no, Tito. We do it for the same reason we forgive. You don't forgive a motherfucker for them. You forgive people for the wrongs they've done to you to release pain and hurt from yourself, to free yourself from that pain and that hurt. It's the same thing with respect. You respect a motherfucker to release yourself from the bad karma that comes with disrespect. Because it's too easy to move with respect. It's too easy to give it, and it's free. It don't take nothing but a shift in mindset. We agree to disagree out of respect for the Most High above anything else. We agree to disagree out of respect for the learning process. We agree to disagree in order to ascend, in order to grow, in order to attract all that is meant for us. We agree to disagree and keep an open mind in order to add and expand on our understanding of this life as we know it. To expand on our understanding of what it is to be a soul being, a spiritual being. To ascend in this spiritual journey. Period. We agree to disagree to maintain peace of mind. All right? All right. Moving on. In conclusion. Point A in conclusion as it pertains to ask a black woman. Not all black women are the same. We do not all hold the same opinions. Just like any other race, black women are complex creatures with multiple layers to their personalities. There is always a backstory to every emotion, to every reaction, to every concept and ideal, belief, moral that we as people have. Period. If you can't take the time to know the backstory, if you don't want to respect the backstory, hold your opinions to yourself. Stop letting the media, social media in particular, control your mind. Anybody with a computer and 2 hands, hell, you ain't even got to have hands. Anybody with a computer and internet can create a social media page, throw up some pictures, write some posts, say some fuck shit. You don't know if these people spreading this I'm an independent black woman fucking nigga are really black women. There's a screen separating you two. How do you know? People get catfished every day. Talking to motherfuckers for 4-5 years. Meet them in person and they ain't even who the fuck they was talking to. They ain't know who they was talking to. So what makes you think that media not portraying the same thing? Huh? If the CIA, the government, can dedicate an entire branch to bringing down the Panther Party because they were trying to uplift and restructure the black race and the black community and the black union as we knew it, what makes you think there's no third party interference when it comes to trying to interfere with the black union in 2020? Don't fall asleep. Keep your fucking eyes open. See, people think that social media is just some entertainment shit. And granted, it is for entertainment purposes. But why do you think it's free? Not only to gather information to teach AI, not only to gather information for consumerist purposes, to see what we like, what we talk about, so they can start making more shit for us to consume and buy so we can keep working and spending and propelling this economy. Yes, for all of that. But you better motherfucking believe it's also playing a part in the continuation of trying to destroy the black community. So when you see all of this shit about black men and black women going back and forth, that's perpetuated from propaganda. Propaganda is spread through what? The media, nigga. Social media is still a form of media, period. Any outlet that can reach the masses is considered the media. Not just the news, not just the radio, anything, including social media. Ooh. The war on black people has been going on since non-black people discovered black people and all their greatness and all their magic and all their abilities and their closeness with a divine power, a supreme being. Break your conformity. And if that's too much work for you, then cool. That's your prerogative. But do not put us all in a box. Do not categorize us. It's too many layers for that. It's too many different types of black women for y'all to keep putting us in this box. It's 2020. You know that. It's just easier to say all instead of breaking it down and trying to find the psychological reasons behind it. Point B in conclusion, as it pertains to the how-to section, how to agree to disagree. Respect all of Most High's messages, okay? No matter who's saying it, where do you think it's coming from? Where do you think these ideas and philosophies and theories and morals and beliefs are coming from? No matter how the message is presented or who it's presented by, you'll always be able to find some type of truth in it. Even if it's only one point that you feel is fact, you'll be able to find something in it. You'll be able to get something out of it. Because as a spiritual being, by you being on a spiritual journey, Spirit is going to send you people, situations, things, take you to places that are going to add and expand on what you know, that are going to help you move forward in your spiritual journey. You just have to have enough respect for Most High's messages as they come in different forms. You have to have enough respect to listen to it, to hear it out, to take it in, and then consult with the Most High on what He wanted you to learn from that situation. There's a difference between learning and understanding. I'll recap. Learning is to know. To understand is to implement what you know into your being, into your daily life. Trying to convert folks is a waste of your time, energy, and light. Say the message that was put on you to say and leave it up to them as to whether or not they gonna take your 2 cents, put it in their pocket, or throw it on the ground. That's their prerogative. All you can do is what you are directed to do, what you were sent to do, what you are purposed to do, which is grow within yourself and show people how you did it along the way. Agreeing to disagree allows the mind to stay open, while a closed mind induces stagnation. Point C in conclusion, as it relates to the what it look like section, what it look like to respect what you disagree with. When you start to notice that you naturally do these things I'm about to lay out, you know you have ascended past the level of agreeing to disagree and respecting what you don't agree with. All right? So these are the signs to look out for that show you, not all of them, but some of the signs to look out for that confirm that you've ascended past that level in your journey. Okay? Point 1. Really listening to what others got to say. Really listening to the points they making when it comes to their theories, ideas, beliefs, morals, ideologies, whatever. Internalizing what was said, taking it with you, and actually sifting through it and consulting with spirit on what is true. What should you release? What should you keep? Pull those truths into your consciousness and allow what you added to your consciousness to help you expand as a spiritual being while on your spiritual journey. Okay? Remember that debates are healthy as long as you keep an open mind and maintain high levels of respect throughout the debate. Regardless of what the other people do, what the other person do, how the other person move, you have to move in the way that Most High is directing you to, with respect, with integrity. You can't be running around here calling yourself spiritual when you over here acting like some fuck shit. You have to be spiritual, not just claim it. And ain't no one way to be spiritual. But you will understand what I'm saying when you come across somebody who's not spiritual. I'm not saying you got to be one way to be spiritual. I'm saying you would understand the difference between somebody who's truly on a spiritual journey or somebody who just saying that shit because they riding a wave. Somebody who just saying that shit because they riding a wave don't even know what the fuck it means to be spiritual. They don't even have a definition on what spiritual is. They don't believe in shit. They don't stand on shit. They personalities, they beliefs, they morals blow with the wind. If the wind blowing east, that's what they believe that day. The wind blowing west, that's what they believe that day. Remember that you can only move for you. You can only answer for you. At the end of the day, you come alone, you leave alone. Everything in between is supposed to be an experience. It's a journey. Enjoy it. Live, laugh, love, respect all things, as all things are created in the image of the Most High. Even non-melanated folk, they were still created. You feel me? They just were created by gods, us. Whereas we were created by Supreme Being, the Most High. But because we created mankind, Most High created it because Most High created us. Can you dig it? Did I go too deep? Nah, somebody will catch it. They told me to put it out there, so I put it out there. Most High said, say it. So I said it. All right? All right. You'll never know all there is to know. There is a lesson in every experience you have, whether it's a positive experience or a negative experience. Do not be in a rush to learn it all. Take your time. Comprehend. Understand. Implement it. And then implement it again. And then one more time just to make sure that you really got it. That it comes natural. That it's not a force. That this is now your lifestyle and not just something you're trying. We don't do this for others. We do this to grow spiritually. We do this to grow the Most High in us. We do this to learn and understand all that we can before it's time for our soul to ascend to the next realm. Okay? Take all that in, y'all. Take it in, for real. Until next time, I am your host, Breathe the Giver of Free Game. Peace, love, and light, family.